All right, well done. Let's come to the back of your mat. Don't worry, you've lost my head. It will reappear. We're taking the Pilates roll down. So feet hip distance apart, shoulders nicely relaxed and down. Let's start with chin to the chest. And we're flexing the spine forwards, peeling as if off the wall behind. One vertebra at a time. We're going to be taking 3 rounds in total of roll down and roll up. The first, we're concentrating on flexion extension of the spine. Let's pause in that forward fold, maybe the first proper stretch of the backs of the legs of your day. So give it a moment or two. And then we're bending the knees enough so we can pace the hands forwards to come to all fours. Lower the knees, ankles hip distance apart, shoulders directly over the wrists, straight into cat-cow. Now we breathe in to look up, chest forwards, press the hands into the floor and breath out chin to chest round the back. Now either stay here or if you want to increase the intensity, pace the hands forwards, tuck the toes, and from a down dog, we can get that length in the spine and the backs of the legs, and slowly, please avoid a full up dog unless you've already started your day with some sun salutations. So we're slowly lowering the hips, squeezing the glutes. So we're still taking that flexion extension of the spine, or you're still on all fours taking cat-cow. So enjoy this. It's all about working that sagittal plane, working to mobilize the spine. Finish the vertebra around that you're on, a flexion extension of the spine, maybe just feeling your way into moving the spine, and we're pacing the hands back. Now, Pilates, we want to try to work up those stabilizing muscles of your core. So let's imagine I've got a fragile pane of glass either side of your body. And as you pace the hands back, try to minimize the wavering of the body side to side. Bend the knees to slowly roll up through the spine. One vertebra at a time, head last to come up. At the very top, roll the shoulders back and down. The second set, we're thinking about lateral flexion of the spine. So let's go into that chin to chest, rounding down through the back. Again, there'll be 2 options, from all fours or from a down dog position. We'll do the all fours version first of all. So remember that pane of glass as we pace the hands forwards, and let's all meet on all fours. Release the toes at the back. Now, if we lift the feet and sway them out to the side, opposite hand taking a twist. So it's like a modified banana, side bend, reaching right over, feeling a stretch down the side of the body. Really reach into the fingertips. And then hands to the floor, flop the feet over to the other side. Feel that curve, kind of a crescent, croissant kind of shape, reaching and lengthening the side of the body. Keep going side to side. You've got time for another set there. Otherwise, if you want to increase the intensity from a down dog, feet hip distance apart, lift the heels, drop the heels to one side, and just enjoy that stretch from the side of the body. Breathing deeply in and out of the nose. You can take the heels over to the other side from your down dog in again, taking that stretch into the side of the body. We're getting ready to all start to pace the hands back to the feet. So soften the knees and carefully reducing that wavering of the hips side to side. With soft knees off lock, rebuilding the spine. We're coming back up to standing head last to come up. Roll the shoulders back and down. The last one, we're thinking about rotation of the spine. So let's drop the chin to the chest. Enjoy. Try to not think about the next thing. Try to be in the moment and feel some release, softening down the spine. Coming into your forward fold. Facing the hands forwards till we're on all fours. Now for a twist for the spine, release those toes at the back. We'll lift one hand and thread it through. Maybe you can hook it onto your shoulder just to give you a bit of a leverage to look around and feel a twist in the body. And then the counter twist, the open twist. The same arm leading, lift the shoulder and open the chest. Keep the neck nice and long. Once more each side. Now there's an option here to come to down dog. Keep working with the same arm, the same twist. We can take a twisted dog. So the same arm that we're working, reach across to the opposite ankle and maybe look under the armpit. So we're looking at twisting through the spine, that rotation through the spine without forcing. Now, whether you're on all fours or from a down dog position, let's switch arms. So the other arm threads through and starting to get a gentle twist in the spine. Maybe you take your gaze up to the ceiling. The counter twist, the open twist, open the chest to the other wall. Chest open wide. Again, side to side with the option of taking this twist from a down dog position, reaching through, catching the opposite leg, and maybe looking through your armpit. But the emphasis is on that rotation of the spine. So we're really looking after the spine here. Flexion, extension, side bends, rotation, all of the movements that we need for a nice healthy spine. We're all going to pace the hands back. So soften the knees and start to pace the hands back to your feet, but we're going to come down to sitting. So legs out in front of you. We're taking the roll back and roll up. So a little bit core and arm heavy here. So legs out in front, make sure you have space to roll back. Feet hip distance apart, shoulders back and down, sitting up tall. Now we've got the option of taking the C curve with the knees bent, feeling that drawing in the core, ribs together, tummy bottom back to the spine and under the ribs, pelvic floor before sitting up. Or we take the full roll down, but it's the same engagement. Your ribs coming together, that squeeze. Really picture your tummy bottom going back to the spine and try to tuck it under the ribs. At the same time, we can think about the hip points, trying to draw them together so that the lower abdominals engage. You don't have to come all the way down to the mat, but this is the full roll back and roll up. Don't worry if it's a little bit jerky on the way up. It was for me for many years, but we're still working through that articulation of the spine, whether you're taking the full movement or with the knees bent. So as long as we're feeling a nice, slow, controlled movement, engagement in the core, it's all good. Now, if the roll-up phase is really difficult, we can hold onto the fabric of our clothes. Sometimes just that little bit of extra tension gives us a smoother journey back. Stick with it, whichever version, whichever level you're going at. Going into a nice, smooth breath. If the legs are extended, it can be helpful to hold the outer edges of the mat. So as the chin comes to the chest, it's as if you're pulling the mat apart. And it, again, just gives us a little bit of extra strength to come up. Last few rounds, because there is more core work to come, so take it nice and gently. Spine health with the help of a strong core. For the last few rounds, can we try and keep the feet hip distance apart and knees, toes pointing up to the ceiling, particularly when we're at a phase where we're still jerking a little bit on that rising up through the spine. Sometimes the feet jerk in and out. So let's try and press the backs and knees into the floor, the heels into the floor. We're stabilizing right through the body. We can start to add on a little spine stretch. So reaching towards the toes. Try to go for a full deep breath, using all of the lung capacity. Last time. And then we're going to work the side muscles along with the breath. So again, we're working that movement with breath. So we're calming down the body. All right, next exercise. The feet we're going to have flat to the floor. Hold the head in the hands, long spine, long neck. I like to use the thumbs as a prop for the head. And a reminder to lift the head out of the shoulders, shoulders drop. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, we're taking a twist. Keep the shoulders high and wide, wring out the waist. Breathe in to come center, and breathing out to the other side. So we're going side to side, moving with the breath. Every time you come center, just give this as yourself an opportunity to re-lengthen, long spine, long neck. Option to make it a little bit trickier. Legs can start off straight. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, exhale half the breath into your twist. And then lift your opposite knee for the rest of the exhalation, just to deepen that crunch and work into the obliques. We're still breathing in center. It's a phased exhalation. You take the twist and then you go a little bit deeper with that final push of exhalation. Tummy bottom back to the spine with a knee lift. Otherwise, just leave the feet flat to the floor. So working with the breath, trying to keep that long spine, long neck. Option only to add on that intensity. No need. It's actually so challenging to keep the body upright because our spines are so cushioned with these soft sofas that we're used to sitting in. So holding the body upright, you may start to feel your body's temperature rising already. You're working so many muscles in the body. Let's make this last set your best. Squeeze, long spine, long neck. And to the other side. Amazing. Shrug out the shoulders and let's drop the feet over to the right. Just a little bit of work for the obliques. Hand to the floor and reach away from your feet. Now the elbow leads. Breathe out. Elbow to knee and reach over. So toning the sides of the body. Reaching, finding length and space along the spine. Breathing out. Maybe going a little bit deeper, but let's be in control of that and not collapse into the side bend. A nice strong stretch into the fingers and you hold until you feel that crunch work into your obliques and that you're pulling on something really active. Arms, one more on this side and we switch sides. Breathing deeply, lengthening, long spine. Last time. Up and over, and then we flip the legs to the other side. Fabulous. Legs flipped around, and let's go straight away into side bend. Reach overhead, feeling length. Breathe into these ribs. Breathing out like you're pulling back, shoulders back and down, strong arms, elbow into the waist and reach over. Breathing deeply in and out of the nose. Use the exhalation for an extra pulling in the core. Pull back, elbow into the waist, shoulders stay back. Try to keep that length in the spine. So rather than collapsing side to side, we're actually getting longer and creating space along the spine. One last set. Now I warn you, there's a little bit of work for the arms here, but it's all helpful reminders so that we can make our planks and down dogs stronger. So last time over, and we're coming into the teaser. So shrug out the shoulders, feet flat to the floor. You have an option of keeping these train track lines or lifting the ankles. So find your position. You can always come back down to feet on the floor. We're starting with the hands flexed, fingers up to the ceiling. Now with a down dog position, we're obviously pressing into the floor. So this is a very strong lifting of the fingers up to the ceiling. But at the same time, we want to stabilize the shoulders. So feel like the humeral head is pulled back into the shoulders. So you've got that kind of tradiction of lengthening away from the elbow. So really strong arms, strengthening the wrists and the arms parallel to the floor for the first set. Now to make our plank and down dog extra strong, we have this tension in the arms, strengthening for the wrists. But now we want to think about a big smile and open line across the collarbone. So then you get that engagement between your shoulder blades. Now lengthening up through the spine, long neck. You should now start to feel your core engaging. Breathe into it. we're going to be lifting the arms a little bit higher. So let's give the wrists a rest. Now press down, fingers to the floor, and let's come to maybe a 45-degree angle. So let's go through our point of lengthening away from the elbow. So you're pressing the tops of the hands forwards, but we're stabilizing the shoulders. So the shoulders are back and down. We're reaching forward through the hands, and we're then broadening across the chest. Breathing deeply, and I think this can be quite a nice change of emphasis if we think about broadening across the chest rather than always scrunching the shoulder blades together. So think about a broad smile here, but shoulders back and down, and we're pressing those fingers forward. I want to drop my arms, that's cheating. We've got one more round. Spread the fingers wide and we'll come a little bit higher. Now, thinking about reaching into the fingertips, but stabilizing the shoulders, breathing deeply, lengthening the spine, the chin slightly tucked into the chest. I know this is hard on the arms, all strengthening, good stuff. So shoulders plugged back. Now find that smile, that open line across the chest. It's almost like we're beaming the chest forwards. The spreading of the weight, the strength, right to the fingertips, spreading wide. One more breath here. Let's feel that corset pulling in around the waist. We've got one final one. Let's make a fist and reach up. As though we're reaching, pressing into the ceiling, yet stabilizing the shoulders down. Squeezing, see my voice is even shaking. Everything in the body working here. Some of you maybe even still have your ankles lifted. Well done, you. So let's squeeze those hands, thumbs on the outside, creating that fist, shoulders stabilized, punching up to the ceiling, wide across the collarbone. Your last little push, breathing deeply. Last two breaths. And then we're going to sit on the heels and ease out the shoulders. Oh, well done. Come onto your knees, sit back on the heels, and let's circle out the wrists. Well done. So easing out through the fingers, the wrists, and then let's roll out the shoulders. Shoulders back and down, with flex and open. Take the head into this easing movement. All right, we've got a funny flow now. Not funny, but we'll be on all fours. We're going to take a balancing cat to a gate and to a modified extended side angle. And then the cow face pose, Uttanasana, which is just yummy for the hips. We're ready. All right, all fours. I'm going to change the angle of my mat. Okay, so when you're ready, on all fours, feet relax. We're going to lift the right leg and plant the ball of the foot. Tilt the pelvis, squeeze the glutes, firm up the thighs. And when you've got a strong core, let's lift the opposite arm, the left arm. So we're reaching back with a flat foot. See if you can kick back through the heel, balancing cat. Tummy bottom back to the spine, that pelvic tilt. Breathing deeply, we've got 4 rounds of elbow to knee. When you're ready, with the out breath, elbow to knee, round the back, empty the lungs. Breathe into that extended position. Let's keep that lifted hand with the palm facing into the center line. Lengthening and breathing out, elbow to knee. Keep going, last 2. If you want to take out the arm movement or come down to your forearms, if this is too much on your wrist, that's absolutely fine. Let's make the next our last. Breathing out, elbow to knee. This time the hand that was working, hand on the floor and re-extend that active leg. We're taking the leg out to the side, 4 rounds. See if you can keep the toes pointing down to the floor. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out the knee, the leg, out to the side. Breathe in back to your line with the hip, breathing out. Again, let's go for 4, nice easy number to remember. Taking the leg out wide and then returning. Throughout, keeping the spine in that neutral position, bottom tucked. And on the 4th one, we're placing the foot on the floor for a gate. So let's make the next our last. Lower the foot to the side, flat to the floor and lift. We have knee to arch alignment. Hand slides down the leg and reach up and over. Nice open chest. Squeeze the glutes and enjoy that stretch. To come into our modified extended side angle, we'll lift the heel of the extended leg and have the knee pointing to the side. Inner thigh stretch, hand towards the floor. You can have the forearm on the knee and take the upper arm overhead. So either hand on the floor, opening the chest, deep breath in. So the last part of this flow before we go to the second side is this active leg, the bent front leg, is going to cross in front of the other knee. Cow face pose. So when you're ready, press into the floor, your bent lifted knee, cross it over the front, and see if we can separate the feet. If you sit on the feet, that's fine. Otherwise, see if you can lower yourself in between. So gently rocking as much weight into the fingers. You can lift the hips if this is a little bit tight. If you're pretty comfortable here, you can come into a fold, but let's keep a nice gentle rock into this. Find your position. You can work your hand, the heel of the hand, into the hips if there's tightness here. This is your recovery phase, so just enjoy, close your eyes and take a couple of breaths here. Breathing deeply and try, see if you can make that exhalation a little bit longer than the inhalation. And you'll notice maybe with eyes closed, you're more likely to notice this unnecessary muscular effort, clenching around the body that you can really let go of. Last 2 breaths here, enjoy it. Just tilt this down slightly. All right. If you're folding forward, slowly rise up, lift the head. We're coming back onto all fours. Always good to come back to a symmetrical position. And now it's the other leg, which is active. Tilt the pelvis flat back, plant the ball of the foot, firm up the thigh and then lift. Opposite arm lifts, palm facing in, shoulders back and down. Can we remember this idea of pressing forwards through the hands, which stabilizing the shoulders, tummy button back to the spine, elbow to knee. We have 4 rounds. Use the out breath, the strength of the out breath, elbow and knee come together, empty the lungs. Try not to fall as I did. Breathe in and extend, reaching into the fingers, but stabilize shoulders. Remember that smile across the chest. And breath out, elbow to knee. You can always take a child pose at any point, especially if it's a bit warmer today. If you feel at all dizzy, just rest back on the heels. And if you remember on the last one, the 4th one, we'll keep the leg extended. We'll just lower the arm. Let's see if we can now open the hip with the out breath. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out, legs come side. Don't worry about the angle of the foot as the leg comes side. You'll naturally need to get an external rotation of the hip to get more movement in the leg. So we've warmed up those oblique muscles. Hopefully they're helping to draw the leg out to the side. And it's on the 4th one, we'll take that gate pose. So we're looking for a knee to the arch of the foot alignment. I've just lost count, so I'm going to go ahead and place my foot down on the floor, roughly checking that knee to arch alignment, and let's take a gate. So gliding down the leg and lifting the upper arm. Reaching wide across the collarbone, reach into the fingertips, squeeze the glutes. So we don't want to stick the bottom out here because we can see this has been like a modified side plank, and we want to keep that lovely alignment in the body. Breathing deeply. To take the modified extended side angle, we'll back off out of this, roll onto the ball of the foot, heel comes forward. So we create that 90-degree angle. Either the hands on the floor, or we can reduce the intensity, hand, forearm on the thigh. Let's get an inner thigh stretch. Let's open the chest wide. Only look up at the ceiling if your neck's happy with that. There's no need. We have enough tension in the neck. without adding to it. So breathing, stretching into your upper arm, shoulders down. So do we remember, with the cow face pose, the active bent knee is going to come in front of your other knee on the floor. So when you're ready, let's lift. Glide your leg in front, separate the feet, and slowly lower yourself back. Just find where it's okay for you. Maybe the feet are quite close together, and that's absolutely fine. So, but maybe over time, maybe pressing into the balls of the feet, we can start to shimmy our way down closer, so that we start to have the sit bones pressing into the floor. Long spine, long neck. And any gentle swaying here that just allows you to ease a little bit deeper, working the external rotators of the hips. You can use your fingers. Sometimes just pressing into the muscles, the brain can more readily start to release. We've got that neuromuscular network of chat going on where we can say, okay, time to release. The legs are supported by the floor. We don't need to clench. We can just give in to it. So with many of these stretches, we'll hold for at least 3 breaths so we can override that stretch reflex. So hopefully, if you close your eyes, either coming into a forward fold, if that's available to you today, and on this side. Otherwise, close your eyes wherever you are. We can start going into the body and feeling whole skeleton here, whole body melting down, all the soft tissue, that muscular effort, letting it go. Or at least being aware of it and maybe using your fingers to encourage a little bit of softening. You're doing well. Last full breath here. If you're in a forward fold, slowly rebuild the spine and lift the head. We're going to release this top knee and take the legs out in front and give them a good shake. So we're rolling from one bottom cheek to the other. Just let the feet flop. That should feel good. All right, we've got a little bit of core work. We've got a last couple of minutes. Let's come to a tabletop position, imprint the spine. Now we're going to just, don't overthink it, just think about pressing the opposite thigh. Hold the head in the hands, really create a hammock for the head. Let the head hang in the hands, arms strong, shoulders down. Now, as you curl up, feel the front ribs come together, tummy bottom back to the spine, tuck it under the ribs. Now, as we extend, let's say the right leg, if I mirror you, we'll release the right arm and press against the left thigh. See, it's opposite hand to thigh. Press and engage your core. Squeeze for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to that cradling of the head. Tabletop. Breath in to prepare. Breathe out, extend the other leg and press against the thighs, isometrically strengthening. Shaking's fine, but no pain. If you feel you're arching the lower back, take the thighs in a little bit, legs more towards the ceiling. For more intensity, legs away. Obviously, the longer the lever, the more strenuous for the core. We press and squeeze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last set each side. Take a deep breath in, recovery breath, extend the first leg, press against the opposite thigh, and press, squeeze. Front ribs come together, tuck the tailbone under, tummy bottom back to the spine, pelvic floor, and press. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time, last side. Reconnect lower spine to the mat. Take a deep breath in, extend the leg and press. Find the engagement, no arch in the lower back. Press, tummy bottom back to the spine into the mat, pelvic floor. Use the strength of your arm to add on that extra layer of effort. This is your last one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put the knees into the chest, well done. We're going to take a hand press for the legs. Extend the legs up to the ceiling. Just shake the head side to side. Make sure your jaw's nice and soft. Bend the knees into the chest with the feet flexed, shoulders down, and then press as if the ceiling's coming down. We're pressing it away. Again, breathe in, knees into the chest. Breathing out and press. Try and keep the sit bones down, so the femur pressing into the hip joint, the heels pressing up to the ceiling. Maximum length down the backs of the legs last time. Breathe into the chest. We've just got a spinal twist to go, which will feel yummy and relaxing. Press. And then knees back to a tabletop position. We're swaying the knees side to side. And only when you feel ready, we follow through, tipping all the way over to one side, and we relax. Again, I would encourage you just to roll on the back of the head, gently taking the head side to side, nice soft jaw, and then let the head rest whichever side feels nice. I actually prefer following the side of the knees. There's something about a nice neck release on the opposite side, which feels very nice. We're taking 2 breaths. Close the eyes if you can. This is just the closing stretch. So let's relax head to toe, using that calming out breath. Feel like a snow globe, everything settling down, all the tension draining out of the body. We have to come back to the center slowly, maybe one knee at a time. Hug the knees into the chest. We re-establish that symmetrical line in the body, and then we'll slowly take the knees across to the other side. Work into the head, neck gently rolling, jaw soft, shoulders heavy. Think a smile, and then rest the head wherever it wants to rest. Try just for these last couple of breaths to remove any unnecessary muscular effort. Really give in. You know, sometimes we have to just remind the brain nothing will fall off if we let go, release, and just allow gravity to draw tension out of the body. Nice deep breath, and a lovely releasing soft exhalation. You can keep your eyes closed, but slowly take the knees back to the center. Have a little rock on the spine. You can circle the base of the spine. To come up, you can either roll on the spine or roll to one side. And slowly, so you don't get dizzy, come up to sitting. And we're done. Let me